Well, as with the last job hunt in this series, today's episode of The Coach's Head is all about you. We're going to go on a summer job hunt. We're going to apply for jobs that are relevant, attend interviews, and see what offers we get. And then when it comes down to it and we've got our options, if we've got more than one, you guys will be the ones to decide where I go. Yes, hello, and welcome along to part 36 of The Coach's Head with me, Daniel. We are back today at the end of our first and only season at FC Copenhagen. We've done our job, we've restored the title to the hands of FC Copenhagen, and we chucked in a Danish Cup as well. But today, we are going to start looking for our new job, and that begins with the first of what I hope will be many interviews. I am a little bit torn on this as well, though, because as the summer started, and I'll show you before we eventually leave, Copenhagen are starting to sign some players and maybe starting to look a bit more impressive. We've done our job here, so it's time to move on. And looking ahead for the Director of Football Challenge, we want to avoid leagues with B teams, and we want to avoid England and the big leagues we've already been to. So it's going to be something a little bit different. We're going to have 3 or 4 options, hopefully, because we've now got a 4-star reputation as a manager. If I show you here, we've got our Continental A license. We are wanted by one or more target at the moment. So it could be a summer where we have choices and you're going to choose which one we go to. If you like the sound of that and you're looking forward to it, a different style of episode today, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. But for now, let me show you the first of what I hope will be a few job interviews this time around. If we go to the inbox, we have got the first interview offer, and it is from a club that we applied for at the end of the last episode. That club is Trabzonspor of Turkey. Now, I found this even more interesting the more I looked into it, because Trabzonspor, while finishing 7th, I think missing out on Europe entirely, they did in a Turkish league. If we go and have a look at their general info, they've not won the league since 2022, so in this save, so far, they've finished, what, 3rd, 4th, 6th, 2nd, 5th, 6th, 4th. So they've never really been right up there, but they've been in that chasing pack. The expectation of the club is to win the league, and their media prediction was 2nd. So I don't know if they've had big investment. I don't know if they've had something behind the scenes. I wondered if we could go and have a look. Now, have they had a tycoon or any big ownership changes? I can see they've had elections, obviously, but a new precedent is the only real change. I don't see anything about big ownership or anything like that. With that in mind then, it does seem like there might be a law to this team, which is trying to achieve the unthinkable because the board have unrealistic expectations. So what we're going to do, we're going to attend this first interview. I'm not going to attend them all. I'll show you which ones we get. And of course, we'll then find out if we have any job offers as well and see what we've got to choose from at the end. So let's go and get our interview for Trabzonspor. It is great to be here. I think I can learn a language pretty quickly. I've also had plenty of experience in other countries, so you don't need to worry about the fact that I've not been in Turkey yet. My managerial appointments give me loads of experience, and I feel that it's acceptable that I'm trying to forge a career. We've got the usual question about the media controversies with the dressing room. I don't know why they pop up so often. I don't actually remember having one at this club at all. So let's say that was the exception rather than the rule. My record speaks for itself. I've just won the double, and I don't need to make any changes to the staff because this Coach's Head save, no save for us in transfers, staffing, or contracts. Let's have a look at the board culture and see what they want. Increase commercial revenue, work within the wage budget, increase the reputation. Yeah, look, win the Superliga again. Is that next season though? Because I think we're in 2032. So actually, that might be in 2 years' time. I need to give them a little bit of credit. That could be very interesting. A club that's not won it for over a decade, a club that's not won it in this save, and they expect the title. Not quite sure what makes them think they deserve the title, but we'll see if we can achieve it. That covers everything. We have had the Trabzonspor job interview. But let's go and show you what else we've got at the moment, because we have applied for AA Gent, Lommel in Belgium. Now, the reason I've gone for Lommel, they're not as big a club reputation-wise as the others, but they have managed to get European football this year, albeit it doesn't say it there. You can trust me, they definitely have got the Europa Conference League. Dinamo Zagreb is the other one that's really interesting to me. because they are a side who are a little bit bigger, a big one in their nation. Only managed to finish third this season, didn't have a particularly good time of it. So Europa League for them, but also a side that brings through brilliant youth players. But in this save, seems to have a lot of aging players in the squad and a few familiar names as well. So I feel like that would be an interesting one just to see how it goes. But crucially, they're all from nations where there are no B teams, B team leagues, or anything of that nature. So we shouldn't have the same problems then with the director of football. We did apply for Mechelen. We didn't get an opportunity there. We also applied for, there was one other one as well. Oh, in Italy, we applied for Torino. They didn't offer us anything. So there's the first interview out the way. Let me know what you think of that one. And I'll be back with more news as and when we get interview approaches. Well, we return a week later with a couple of big bits of news here. The first one you can see on the screen now. Our Trabzonspor interview was unsuccessful. They have opted for a different manager to take them forward. But to soften the blow of that the day after, despite the fact I ambitiously applied for AC Milan and probably got nowhere, there you go. We did get a job interview offer from AA Gent of Belgium. Now, it's a league I've always wanted to manage in, haven't really had a chance since probably Anderlecht in the 2000s when it comes to FM. It's a league that I think I'll do well in. It's a league that looks interesting and has a number of different approaches. This club does have a couple of warning signs with it. The first one is a massive negative transfer model, which of course is something that we experienced at Willem 2. And I'm not sure whether it's just a broken feature overall or whether it's something that is going to be implemented better after the first season or two if you manage finances at a club. The other side of that, though, is that at Willem 2, the director of football still found a way to do good business, and that maybe does entice me a little bit. There has, though, been a great senior addition to the squad here, and another one that's been made as an offer. So it's looking good for Copenhagen too, but we're not going to be staying here. We've attended the Ghent interview, no new job applications yet either, so we're waiting to see if there's any turnover in the coming weeks. As people take up international jobs and things, there may well be. But will we have job offers before then? We'll be back in a moment to find out. Well, here we are, just 3 days further on, and there is more news. This news is the first time we've had a job offer this summer. Now, you can see what I was talking about a moment ago with the negative transfer model. Minus 12.5 million for AA Gent, but they do have a director of football in place. They do have a good wage budget, and they expect to be in the top 6 of the Belgian league, with the top 5 teams getting European football. They've offered me 15 grand a week, which is a pretty good wage as well. We'd be replacing Javier Saviola, the former Argentine international. And if we go and have a look at their squad, get a bit of an understanding of what we'd be coming up against, we have got, let's see the director of football, where are you? It is Wesley Visser, who is okay at his job, not particularly spectacular. A pretty decent head of youth development, who's now coming to the end when it comes to age. And if we have a look at the squad, a much younger outlook generally. Yes, there's a couple of real old boys in there, but one's about to retire. One is a goalkeeper who is still very good at 33. Not really that old for a keeper in truth. And other than one or two defenders then, most of this squad is pretty young. If I show you the star players in there, let's get them in order. You can see Noah Mbamba is the peak one of the lot. He is 27. He is versatile, can play centre-half or centre-mid. But his best role is the holding role, where he's a very able operator. He's worth 20 odd million, but he is wanted by clubs, including one in the Premier League. So there is a suggestion that we might be losing stars if we go here. Having said that, one deal alone could then take you back into a positive transfer budget. The thing that really does entice me, though, is young strikers here, because they do appear to have genuine quality and depth up front. Ferdi Bassaran is a really good young player. 6'1", good in the finish. Maybe not the quickest, but good overall. Yanis Maswai is an electric quick striker who can run in behind, still only 25 years of age. And they've got a few players sort of at the peak of their powers. So Decker being one, Taibbi being another, and Burmeister being a third. So it's not a bad little squad, is it? There's a few good players. There's a lot of opportunities for us to improve them. But I just worry about that transfer model. Is that squad going to be able to be improved? The answer is probably no. So with that in mind, do we delay the job? Of course, I'm going to delay it for a week anyway, because if we go and have a look at the job centre, we have still got the application in at Dinamo, which is one that's quite enticing for me. So I want to give it another week just to see if others come up and to see whether or not we get offered more interviews. But nothing from there yet. So if nothing else happens, we will be going to AA Gent. But hopefully, for the sake of you guys, we'll get an option. We're going to delay it for a week. Hopefully, they will agree to that. And we'll see if we get any offers in the meantime that may tempt us away from having a go at Belgian football. Or a return on the 2nd of July, and we have got more news here on the inbox. It's not quite been a week yet, so you know it must be from another club. We have had an interview and now been given a job offer by Dinamo Zagreb. Slightly lower wage for us personally, but it's not about that in this save. We said that from the start. The wage budget is slightly bigger. The transfer budget is enormous. Certainly no need to sell to buy there. And because they've dropped into the Europa League in third, their expectation is to go back and win the league, try and win a domestic cup, and also be competitive in Europe. If we go and have a look at Dinamo Zagreb for comparison, I mentioned it before, it's a bit surprising that they've got such an aging squad, and a lot of them tied down for another year as well. There are names there you'll recognise, so Maeda as an attacking player, who's still electric quick in fairness to him. Beto, another one in that mould as well. So maybe it's a squad where over a couple of years we would see a lot of rotation. It does worry me though that a lot of these boys are the first teamers, are the senior ones. Although a couple of them are wanted, maybe we'll get them to move on. But the other thing you do get normally when you're at this level of football, particularly in Croatia, is good young footballers coming through. And you can see, even in the first team, there are young players that have real potential here. So is this going to be a job where we could break through a few youngsters, do what we sort of did at Willem 2, bring through some academy stars, get people into the squad and get them competing at that level? I don't know if there's any rules regarding Croatian players in the squad. I think there might be based on what we've got in the first team here. But if you look at some of the senior players that are a bit younger as well, Hugo Gonzalez is a really good winger. I'm trying to look at other important players. Here's the centre midfielder from Bosnia, only 23, good player. It's a slightly lower standard league. There's no doubt in that whatsoever. It's a very good team with a chance to regain its title at the top. And that's something that is enticing as well. We had it this year with Copenhagen. So overall, I've got to be honest with you here. I'm a little bit torn. I've never managed in Croatia, I don't think, in FM. I've not managed in Belgium for 15 years at least. Both of them are clubs that have an appeal. They're obviously in very different situations off the pitch. One of them with the negative transfer model, one of them with a positive. Dinamo Zagreb, of course, has the law of European football. We do have to bear that in mind as well. I don't know if there was a director of football here. I don't think there was, but it is a technical director who's okay, and there's a head of youth development who's very good because that's part of their focus. I just wonder if they've got any good players in the under-19s. Who are your highest value players there? I mean, there's a few with pretty big transfer fees, but none that are really standing out just yet. So 2 offers at the moment on the table. But could it be more than that? If we go and have a look at the staffing and our job centre again, there is one other job we have applied for, which is another one in Italy in the shape of Verona. Now, I applied for Torino at the start of the summer. I sort of mentioned the 2 options. Dinamo are definitely one of those, like Copenhagen, a top club from a middling league that have an opportunity to become the best and regain their crown. Hellas Verona are very much a mid-table side in a bigger league, but I love the Italian league. It's entertaining. And of course, it does give us an option to have bigger competition. And AA Gent sort of in the middle, a side that we can build over a couple of years like Willem 2, get them into Europe and push on. But they've got that big negative transfer budget, and we've seen the issues that can cause before. The question to you guys is, what do we do? Do we take the Gent job? Do we take the Dinamo job? Or do we delay again? I mean, basically, if Dinamo is the favourite of the 2, I can delay that job for a week and try and get the Verona one. That gives us 7 more days. So if the overall majority wants to go for Verona, we can delay the Gent one a second time, but risk the fact that we may lose that job offer entirely. And then if we miss out on Verona, we'll only have Dinamo Zagreb to fall back on. So my question to you guys is, what do I do? Do I take the Gent job? Do I take the Dinamo job? Or do I wait and try and get Hellas Verona? It doesn't look like there's going to be many other more options. The top clubs or the bigger clubs out of the group, they've sort of turned us down straight away. Your AC Milans, your Monacos, your Torinos even, all just said no straight up. So what should we do out of these 3 options? The last one might not even be an option. Verona may not even offer us an interview. But if it's between Gent and Dinamo, first question, which would you take? And if we've got the chance to take the Verona one, Should we take that first? What do you think? I'm interested to get your thoughts. I want to know where you would go if it was your save. I've got a very slight lean in between the two offers we've got at the moment, but I've got to say there's not a huge amount in it. So I'll be interested to see what you say, and I won't make the decision until Sunday evening. So you've got a couple of days to get your comments in. Let's go and have a look at the transfers quickly though, because I did want to show you what Copenhagen are doing. It's been really interesting since the summer started, because they've not lost any of the star players. They've not accepted any big offers for any of the first teamers. What they have gone and done though is signed two very good senior players. The first one is Thiago Moraes from FC Lorient, 6.5 million for a 28-year-old left winger who is desperately needed in the side, can finish really well. And I've got to be honest, is the player we've been crying out for a long time. So really pleased that he's joined the club. If we'd been staying, that would have filled me with a bit more optimism. The second one, perhaps even more so, because Umut Tiunchu, his loan has expired. And the question was, like left back, was it going to be a position that just didn't get replaced? Well, no, it has been replaced. Koba Coindrady has come in from Getafe for about 4 million quid. And he's a very good holding midfielder. Can play centre mid too. 30-year-old Frenchman, not a bad player in his peak. And just gives another very good option in the squad. So overall, Copenhagen doing some very good transfer work at the moment. There's a few more players that are going in and out, mostly at youth level at the minute. And a couple of the young players that could be coming in. You know what? They might be all right for the future. But that's not for us to worry about for now. I just thought I'd give you a bit of an update to show that, yes, the director of football is actually doing something now. Better late than never. For now, though, the question is to you guys. Will it be Gent? Will it be Dinamo? Or will it be a gamble and a wait for Verona? Your comments will decide where we go next in this save. So over the next couple of days, get your thoughts in the comment section. Give me your reasons why as well. And then we'll make our decision. Record on Sunday night. Ready for Monday's video to find out the answer. If you enjoyed this one, something a little bit different and interactive, then please do put a thumbs up on it. Subscribe and turn that notification bell on to stay up to date with everything from the channel, especially finding out where we go on Monday. And after that, next week is going to be a big one when it comes to the Southend United save. A few big episodes to finish off a very important and historic season. Come and check out tomorrow's video to see what I mean. But before that, you can find the full playlist up in the eye above. There's also links there to the Twitch channel and the football podcast where it's a new EFL season and there's content galore. Thank you very much for watching here as always, for giving us your reasons down in the comments for your decision. And hopefully on Monday, the majority of you will be happy. I'm aware I'm not going to please everyone.